Hey, welcome back to Big Sherm's Juke Joint Renovation. Jason here. We're going to work on the window today on the interior. These windows here. Um, we're going to repair the burglar bars and get them back up and build curtains and do some painting and things like that. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy it. All right, so here we have the front window. And there was bars here and they cut them out. So the next little project, since I have the welder here, is to take this base and this base and weld them to the rest of the bars. I'll show you over here. This. So I'm gonna move this outside, clean it up, get those off of the front window and weld them on. That's the next little project. Okay, here we are on the front window interior, and I cleaned off the old caulk and put a strip of new caulk on there to kind of fill that gap. And my plan is to take off these and weld them on to the other bars, the burglar bars that go here that match these. That's the plan. So right now I'm gonna continue to clean this up. There's a lot of holes in the tent, as you can see here. My plan is to do kind of a continuation of the exterior mural onto this glass and use that design to cover up these tears, because I want to leave the tent on there because it's hard to tell, but in certain light you can read old logos on here. It says cigarettes and beer, cigars, and it's all misspelled, and it's really cool. And I want to keep as much of the history of the place intact as I can. So we're gonna basically try to save it by fixing this area here with a mural. So we're gonna work on that today. All right, so I'm back. This is a complete failure. Sometimes when you try to do stuff, it just doesn't work out. This is one of those things. The tent is not really obviously accepting the primer very well, and by the time I covered up all the tears and bad spots, as you can see, it's just too much on the window. So now I'm gonna switch to tearing the tent off and cleaning the window. I'm gonna fix the bars, caulk it in, and maybe think about getting some other tent. Not quite sure, we'll see how that works out. I really need to see how rough it is in the morning with the direct sun. Anyway, this is a total failure and not really a setback, just a learning experience. I just try to save everything that just can't be done all the time. So I'm not gonna film it because it's just boring. I'm just gonna tear all this out and clean it up and keep working on these burglar bars. Okay, cool. Okay, I was able to get the tent off pretty easily. I'm gonna use some mineral spirits to kind of get the residue off. I'm gonna let that primer on the outside cure, and I'll just scrape that off. It comes off real easy. I do like the idea of continuing the mural, which kind of goes on this post here, and then have it meet up with the design here, because it kind of goes down here, the musical scale, and then it goes up, you know? And I am going to do that and put some musical notes, so on and so forth, and continue it, but not with this type of coverage. It'll just be see-through, you know? So we tried it. It sucked. We're fixing it. That's life at the juke joint. So we'll continue. All right, so we got that cleaned up. My plan is now, because there's no tent and there's obviously no privacy, I'm gonna go ahead and switch my projects over and work on a curtain. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the Harbor Freight drop cloth that I have separating the stage area from this area. I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice that for this because that's what I have here, and that's how we roll to juke joint. Okay, cool, I'm gonna work on that. Tomorrow I'll scrape the white off the outside, so don't trip on that. It's looking good though. The glue is off, it's clean, it's looking good. I still have to remove this and this to weld back on to the burglar bars. So we'll do that soon. Cool. Okay, so I used Gojo as a glue release, and I applied it to the window and used these razor blades to scrape the window, and I came up with this giant glue booger. Ooh, yeah. So that was on the back of the tent, and the whole window was sticky with it. So now, you know, for a first pass, it's not too shabby. So I'm happy with that. We're going to continue working on this window section. Okay, so in preparation for putting the burglar bars back in, I kind of painted this and cleaned this area up. I'm going to scrape the window a little later when the sun is not directly on it, but we're going to continue. All right, so we're going to be working on the burglar bars angle iron situation here. At some point, the legs were cut off the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is weld it back on, but first we're going to put them in the vise and hit them with the old grinder. So we're going to do that now, clean these up. What do you think, Sherman? Do you like the new paint job? Looks better, huh? Okay, so I painted these burglar bars. I'm gonna let them dry overnight and I'll put them back in tomorrow. And I have the oil base on the inside on the ledge drying too, so it should time out pretty well. This fool wants a walk, I know. What do you think, buddy? You a sweet boy? Yeah. All right, I'm very happy with the way the windows turned out, and I appreciate you guys sticking in there and watching. Next episode, we're going to be back outside working on the front, and I'm going to do a little bit of painting on the window. I'm going to continue that mural, the musical scale and notes that you see on the sides. I'm going to continue that across the front of the window. So that'll be cool. So back outside, exterior work on the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll join us next time. Thanks again. From Big Sherm's Juke Joint, me and Sherm appreciate it. Thank you.